Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Amba Tvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavadveshini. So where were you? I was looking for you. This nice brilliant girl. It is, I know her for last many years now. So I was looking for her.
Yes.
That, he said yes, she is a brilliant girl.
And that you were looking for her.
Okay. Yeah. So, very good. So we were discussing that after having this detachment from these names and forms, I and mine. I and mine is what ties us to this world. We do not know anything about either of them, but still we use this phrase, I and mine. In fact, that is what our world revolves around, I. And then mine. That is, somehow we appropriate things to this unknown I. That is not known. And that again, what we appropriate, there is no reason for that, and yet we say that it is mine. My house. Is it mine? Just think of it. I saw that the cockroaches were getting eradicated from here. One guy had come with some spray this morning. So the cockroaches, they say that it is their house. Just as we say that it is my house. In fact, they have the better right to say that, because you are not always here. Nobody, that even Sushmita and Kunal and Hari who take care of this place, they are also not all the time here. So their being here and therefore their right that it is mine is much less than the cockroaches who don't live for this place. They live in this place. They don't leave this place. So they have better right to call that it is mine. So whose house is it? We don't know. You say my body, is it really mine? What do you mean by mine? All these microbes that are in this, they also call that it is my body. They seem to have more right to call it mine. It is. So, this is what Prasanna, your lecture was, mine or soul. This is beware of the mind. Beware of the mind or soul. So this is this mine. Nothing is mine. So this has to be broken, to be cultivated, removed from our understanding that something belongs to me. It is mine. It is not mine. This needs a process. Detachment is a process. It is to be cut. But then takes some time. For some they are fast with that, some are slow. But the point is not just about the speed, but one has to be up and doing. That yes, I have to cut this bondage. I am tied to the all these things, so-called mind. And if I am tied to that, obviously I can keep on rowing, but my boat will not advance even an inch. So that was the question that was asked, that what should you be doing? And that these kids, little Vittal, answered it correctly. First, you have to untie it from the bank and then row. Okay, no, first I will keep on rowing for 5 hours and then I will untie it, if at all. That will not work. It is so, developing this spirit of detachment alone makes the sadhana possible. Otherwise, well, you are sitting in the car, you have started the engine, and you are pressing on the gas, but the car is still in the P gear. So how far will it go? No, only lot of noise will come, that's all. So our sadhana sometimes just is big noise. That it is what? That Sahasra Chandi Yajna, and then what? Well, so many people came, we distributed prasad to 5,000 people. How far have you advanced spiritually? Nothing, only a lot of noise. Because the gear is still P. Unless you put it into some moving gear, either R or D, it will not budge from the place. So first you put it in the proper gear and then press the gas pedal. Otherwise, no use. You are just making noise, burning gas, and spreading smoke everywhere. That happens with our so-called religious practices. Lot of paraphernalia, lot of noise. It is just throwing party to our friends and relatives and all the community in the name of religion. That is not really practicing religion. It is therefore to start detach. That asanga shastrena dridhena chitva tatapadam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata nanivartanti bhuyah tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. Again that word comes, purusha. So you have to now change the direction in which you were earlier going. You were therefore forming bonds with the things in the world, getting tied to them. So many knots, one after another. That is therefore that story of Alexander. Don't try to keep on that, open the knot. It is not possible. It is tied so much with that, such complex. He just took out the sword and cut the Gordian knot. That's it. Cut it. Do not think, okay, I will untie it and slowly and then keep the rope for future use. cut it. It is cut it. So, and then think of that being. So the journey is now reversed. Instead of going out, Purusha, the indweller. Do you see this? The great significance of this word Purusha. The journey is no more extrovert. You become introvert. That yes. In America, I don't know with these psychologists, the introvert means being depressed, you know.
No.
Yeah, he's not mixing with people, he's not talking, doesn't do, he's always, you know.
That's your definition. That's your opinion.
Yeah, that is, yeah, but that is how it is. When you see, when I go to doctor's office and then, well, I meditate. I said, what do you do? What is your profession? That it is, you have to tell your what vocation and all. So nothing much, you know. So, are you depressed? They have
to ask, all the doctors have to ask.
Well, are you depressed? And so if you are not extrovert, if you are not running after grabbing many things, then you have a problem. It is a pathology. So you need treatment. Yeah. So it is all very funny, but that is in spite of what the physicians say, you have to see that you have to reverse your neurochemistry. That is a very tough job. The brain has been programmed in such a way that whatever is seen by the senses, you go out to grab those things. That is the normal way of life. That when Vithu sees a very nice nut-free candy, then okay, the eyes become big. First catches by the eyes, but that doesn't just remain there. The hand and then the mouth all come into picture, and also looks whether my mom or dad are around. So it is. So it is. That is the extrovert. Nothing Vithu, it is with all of us, you know. Yours is simpler case. The others have more complicated cases. So it is you extrovert. Now this is how the brain is programmed. That it is, and it is going to work like that unless for spiritual life. Therefore, this brain chemistry has to be reversed. And you can do that. You can do that. Don't listen to the psychologists and neurologists who say that it cannot be done. It is, yeah. So it is to be done, you see. That, yes, the reversal. That instead of seeking that which is out, I will seek that from which all this proceeds. That is the object to be known, tad vijijñāsasva, as the sage Varuna told his son. That it takes courage to tell one's son all this, you know. It is that, yes, that is the object to be known. That, go for that. and shows the way also. Tapasa Brahma Vijijñāsasva. The process in that Bhagawad is very similar to in this 15th chapter, that tapasa, that they what you have to do, restrain, that is tapas. When there is the tendency to go outward, then restrain from that. Again, the psychologists tell that will create complexes in you.
Swami is not this
that will bring complexes in your life. As if otherwise you don't have complexes. It is all very complex. In fact, your avoiding this complex has made the situation so complicated. So it is because that is give vent to all those propensities. Do whatever you like. It is that is the advice. Follow that.
You are generalizing.
Yeah, well, of course, I am not particularizing. I am you were sorry. I didn't mean to give you, ask for it. So, anyway, so this is it is like, when you want to reverse the course, you are driving, say 80 miles an hour, and then that it is, you are driving in the wrong direction. Now that GPS and all they tell you, but imagine those days when you didn't have all these things. Just 2-3 days ago, I met one gentleman. He had come from Germany, and then that was many about 3 decades ago. And then he started driving here, took the cars, rented, started driving, looking at the map here, there, and then was not going at the proper place. He suspected that it is all taking me to the wrong place. So he went to, those were not the days of cell phones either, that you whip out and then that dials that where you want to go, those people. So he had to stop, ask people, and he tells it in a very nice way that, look, that man told him, you are on the wrong highway, you are going in the wrong direction, like that. How can you go? The right course would be, to go to the next exit, but this man said, wait, there is that, it is illegal to cut like that. If you get caught by police, well, who knows, you are in big trouble. But I will help you. I will go a little distance and see if there is any police car there, and I will beep. When I beep, you quickly cross. So it is now reversing. You see, the point is that reversing. So first you have to stop going in the wrong direction. That is tapas. Stopping going in the wrong direction. All these tendencies that are propelling these neuro movements, that has to be brought to right direction. They have their momentum. So you have to break the momentum. And how to break it? There will be the demand that, I want this. Say, no, you can't have this. tapasa brahma vijidnyasasva. By tapas, by austerities, penance. That is the meaning of penance. That there will be the tendencies to grab. Now, don't let it go out like this. Tendency to grab. That is to be because it is reversed. Otherwise, even if you understand, I am going in the wrong direction, but what can I do? The vehicle is going in the wrong direction like this, let it go, what can I do? No, you don't do like that. When you know that it will not take you to the destination. It is you are going in fact farther away from the destination. So, break that momentum. Stop the vehicle. Don't go there. Ask somebody, am I going in the right direction? This is the address. And he described nicely that those where he asked, there were people were drinking and having and there's merriment, and half of them were fully drunk and remaining half drunk. So it is, so he found somebody who was half drunk, and then he offered a drink to this man also. No, I don't drink. Okay. So, but then he gave Coca-Cola, and especially for his wife, his wife was sitting in the car. Okay, a bottle of Coca-Cola, and he described that very nicely, that the whole incident, and then said, okay, that it is, I will show you that shortcut, that you can just go in the middle, but wait, I will sound horn that there is no police in the vicinity. Then you quickly go before another police comes. So, that part is not what I am concerned about, but one should go quickly and should not delay. One should first stop and take the first opportunity to go on the right path. So stop first, and do not let your momentum generated by these propensities to govern you. When you know that you were on the wrong path, well, stop it. That is called penance or austerities. And that is the way that you can go. That is why the father tells the son there, tapasa brahma vijidnyasasva. And not only that, tapo brahmeti. That for now consider that tapas is God, because that is the means that you have to follow, and means will take you to the goal. So follow the means assiduously. Yes, that is God. Tapo brahmeti. And then that disciple, that son, satapo tapyata, he started following that austerities. And then the Upanishad goes on, how one after another these layers of ignorance, layers of ego, they were all gone. And with every such process of transcendence, as it continues, the life became more and more joyous, satisfactory, more loving, more connected to the divine. So this is how you see the transformation comes. It is a real transformation. Whatever you may read in some that this is not possible and so forth, that prattle of the worldly people, howsoever intelligent those people may be. They are very brilliant people, no doubt. They may have several PhDs and so many awards in the scientific research and so on. And salutations to them, they are really brilliant people. No, argument about that. But they do not have an expertise in this particular line. If you want what they get in their life, okay, follow them. But if you want peace, blessedness, unselfishness, and all other such things, then you follow that road. If you want your life to become like their life, okay, follow them. But otherwise don't follow them. It is, they are great in their own way, fine. No doubt about that. That yes, it is, somebody might be a great chess player. So admire that person as a great chess player. But then do you want to become a chess player just because of that? You don't want to, so forget it then. It is, so we have to see it. Do we want to make our life like that? Or you want to make your life full of this spiritual wisdom? So you have to take that course. So it says that how to proceed? Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sanyai gacchantya mudha padamavyayam tat. Oh, what a beautiful verse, As here poetry also of this verse is so charming. The meaning is given in such few unambiguous words. It is the great, in fact the greatest, I would say, in my experience, the greatest genius of poetry is here. That, what is poetry? To be able to express a truth that is beyond words in words. That which is beyond words is expressed in words, and yet those words are very few. Each word is packed with so much meaning that, yes, nirmana moha. What are these tendencies that we have to control to reverse the brain chemistry? Remove this sense of ego, that yes, I must get the honor that I feel I deserve. You feel you deserve what? It is the others should feel you deserve. You think it is. In America that expression is there, when you are offered, oh, would you like some tea? No, I am good. I ask, well, let others say you are good, why you yourself have to say that I am good? It is, isn't it boasting, just I am good? It is, let others judge whether you are good or not by your behavior. So, mana, that I must get the proper honor. It is, yes, man. It's a very, that we have some understanding of status. This is an ingrained problem of human psyche. Somehow or other, although we know that all human beings are equal, All are equal. We say now it is 4th July is coming, those the Declaration of Independence. That is the first statement. We believe that all human beings are created equal. And yet, you see, there is that underlying idea. Everybody, this is a very noted psychologist, Eric Fromm, has described about this, that somehow or other we have this feeling, I am superior to somebody and I am inferior to somebody. You don't verbalize it, but one's behavior expresses that unconsciously, that I am superior to this person. For any reason, there it is not really, if you think, that you are not superior, but somebody is a child, then you think, I am superior to this child. Why? There is no logical reason for that, but one thinks. Somebody in your job may be, subordinate to you, but then that is connected only for the job organization. But then that feeling lingers, I am superior to that person. If you are working under somebody, you consider that that person is superior to me. And see what a complex we move around in, that it is superior or inferior. This is called mana, that estimation of ourselves in this kind of superficial, hallucinating hierarchy, that it is, I am somewhere in the middle. Everybody is in the middle, nobody is lowest, and that is very interesting. And then it is, so this is called mana. So that has to be removed. Say that I am as good as anybody, because God is in me. What other things matter? The other things don't really matter. If I express my divinity, that's it. Whether I eat these bread, that's it, dry bread, or I eat what is it called? That that the very costly dish.
Caviar.
Caviar.
Yeah.
Okay. Our Quran said something different, that she was in our travel.
Lobster.
Lobster. So she was in our trip. Everybody had the certain things you will spend for it. Somebody was to pay the tolls. Somebody was to pay for the gas. Somebody would be paying for the food stuff. So when we stopped, all of us, at a food joint, okay, order whatever you want, no lobsters. So whether you are having a bread or lobster doesn't matter, as long as you express the innate divinity, that is what matters. So that is how you are the greatest. There is that's nice story of Shankaracharya, that he even for a great non-dualist, Shankaracharya, sometimes it is probably for our education, that he had a dip in Ganges at Varanasi and was climbing the steps up, and then he saw that a very low caste person with 4 dogs was approaching. Shankara thought that, well, I just had my path, so let me move away. And so he said to that, okay, give me way, don't block my way, just move, I will move, you move. And then that he was said to be Chandala, they very low caste. So he said, whom are you telling, whom are you addressing? Are you addressing the body or the soul? Are you addressing the body or the soul? The body cannot move of itself. And if you are talking about soul, where is the difference between you and me? And then Shankara saw that it is the Shiva, that divine came to teach him the lesson of the innate oneness. And then immediately the transformation took place. Those 4 dogs became 4 Vedas. And then he told, now you have to write commentary to explain the meaning of these Vedas to everybody, to show that the Brahman or the divine is equally present in everyone. So, Nirmana Moha, remember that everybody has that divine potential. So everybody is great, equally great. Do not think of anybody as less than you. No, do not even think yourself to be less than or superior to anybody. Nirmana Moha. Mana and Moha, delusion. That is, Moha means delusion. Oh, we didn't read the translation. Did we read? No, please read. Sorry.
Free from pride and delusion, with the evil of attachment conquered, ever dwelling in the self, with desires completely receded, liberated from the pairs of opposites, known as pleasure and pain, the undeluded reach that goal eternal.
Yeah, so you reach the goal. The process has been chalked out. That what you have to remove? Mana and Moha. So whenever those things come, no, don't proceed. Wrong direction, wrong way. Don't get into that. You cannot go there. And these things come in life. That it is due to ignorance. Those things will come. Do not keep on brooding, where did it come from, why I have been a good person, why it is coming. Then don't waste time in thinking about that. Just stop it. That's it. Do not think much about it. That is another, way of increasing delusion. Where did it come from? Sri Ramakrishna said that if you get this, that sensation to go and pee, and then do you keep on brooding why it is? Just finish the job, you see. It is so similarly when it comes. You do not keep on, worrying why this delusion is coming. Oh, don't go in that direction. It has come. Take it out. That's it. So be wise, more efficient. I tell that incident when we were, myself and that Mahesh Patel, who owns a hotel there near, very good devotee. So while we were driving, he got a phone call from the hotel manager there that, this is that somebody left and then that bathroom is all choked. And he said, well, okay, who lived there don't go after that. It is useless. It is, why waste energy in that? That fellow did it, then try to catch that fellow and say, well, you did it. He may say, no, it was before my coming, it was like that. Don't waste energy in that investigation. It is not profitable at all. It is there, we have to clean it. That's it. We have to clear it. Don't break your heads on the who and why and when. Just do it. That's it. So that keeps your brain very clear. You become very efficient. I learned that, in that conversation. Why keep on, unnecessarily harping on these things? What the end result is that you delay the work, and the things become by the time worse. So it is, get it over. Do it, get it over. He said that why you cannot see that place, such things don't happen. Swamiji, he said, it is a hotel every single day. There is not a day when this does not happen. So, it is all the ways to just clear it, that's it. So, wise person, that don't waste your energies in trying to educate people. How many? It is a floating thing in the hotel, and they come once maybe in a lifetime, they will come there, and what is the use, and where are you going to trace them? So do not worry about it. You put the directions and all that on the desk in the hotel, in their room, put everything in front of them. That's about that much you can do that. So but when this happens, the mana idea of that ego, I am so and so, and I should have this honor. I am a Swami. People should give the proper respect to me. Have you become Swami for that purpose? Actually, you became Swami for the exactly opposite purpose. But then you get the idea that that am I being given proper respect? Well, you are just hurting your purpose, your cause. So, nirmana and nirmoha. So, no moha, delusion. When that comes, it is, remember you are divine. Everything is permeated with divine. So that is why it is told, keep on doing your japa all the time. So gradually that will keep on reminding us that yes, okay, I am divine. That everything is permeated with divine. So it will gradually get controlled. It is, don't think that no, it will never go. Sometimes that frustration sets in. Our Charlie, who started doing this account, everybody when they take it up first, they have this problem that the accounts don't match. That the things don't match. And Swami, this is not happening, something, it is, these figures are not correct. I said, no, the figures are correct, only you have to put them in proper place. So if you don't, then it doesn't get balanced. So again, Swami, I have checked everything. I checked everything thrice, and still it is not matching. It is still showing this difference. Now some silly things, some silly mistakes happen. Now all, therefore accounts is a very good work, to see that how we are in Maya. The account, all figures are right there, and still it doesn't match. Isn't it a funny thing that it is, everything is right there, that still it doesn't match, and you feel no, this is something mysterious, wrong. It is so. Since I have some experience, so I told, well, it will happen. Then I stepped in later when he felt so frustrated. No, I can't do it. So look, say what is there, put them together. Look here, this entry has to be put in the expense category. You put it in the income category. Now how is it going to match, you say? And it got balanced quickly then. So he said, wow, yeah. So it will happen. You have to keep on trying and looking at these facts with more penetration. And it happens with everyone. With anybody is trying to do these accounts, initially it happens. Why it happens, we don't know, but it happens. So, because we are not used to it, and so things get mixed up, the figures don't make sense. It is, especially ours is very small account, nothing much, very few heads and not too many complications. But still it happens. What to speak of very complicated, big corporate accounts. So imagine the accounting of, say, Amazon.com. So it will be a very complicated thing. So it is, our life is like that, very complicated. So it is, one has to be very particular. Nirmana moha jita sanga dosha. That Adhyatma Nitya, always think of yourself, Nitya, not 5 minutes a day, but all the time think who you are, Adhyatma Nitya. Adhyatma means life centered around the spirit, life centered around matter and life centered around spirit. Life centered around matter means this matter, this piece of matter is mine, that piece of matter is mine, I am this matter, that is the life centered around matter. That is not Adhyatma. Adhyatma is a very beautiful word, that it is Adhi-Atma. It is revolving around the conscious entity, that is called Adhyatma. Otherwise it is revolving around matter. It is Adhibhautika life, not Adhyatmic but Adhibhautik. So Adhyatma Nitya, think of that divine spark in us. Vinivritta Kamaha, that get freed from the desires. How? Put the real desire that will remove the all apparent desires. And you may think that, well, desire, how to get so many desires, how many desires I have to get rid of. One desire, two desires, millions and millions of desires, they are just spoiling my life. Which ones should I stop? All of them are not real desires at all. Know that. They are not real desires. Had they been real desires, then they wouldn't have gone. They are not real desires at all. And they come and go. The real desire is God. So substitute these apparent false desires with the true desire. The way is, so adhyatma nitya, that is the true desire, vinivritta kama, dvandvair vimukta. It is otherwise the pulse. Dvandva means not just perception of two. Dvandva is the fight between the two. It is a duel. And duel means not two perceived, but they are two fighting, two in competition. That is called duel. They had a duel, means what? They were in action together against each other. That is a duel. So we have that life is like that. It is this or this, and go for this or go for that. It is because the life in this world, the material life, is full of this conflicting duels. This, I don't want this. Whether should I do this or I should not do this. It is everything. You see that if I do this, I may get this benefit, but this may bring this problem. It is so you keep on cogitating about it. But dvandvair vimukta, for this adhyatma, this goal of God realization, there are no two. There is no dvandva. There is otherwise it is sukha dukkha samjnai dvandvaihi. It is that the dual is classified here, qualified, not classified. It is qualified by sukha dukkha, the dual of pleasure and pain. Now what is the dual? It is simple, isn't it? Take pleasure, avoid pain. It is so simple. Why it is a dual? There is no conflict. What Arya, what will you take? Pleasure or pain? Obvious, where is the dual there? Exactly, pleasure. Clear answer. Where is the dual? The problem is, whatever you take to get pleasure, it becomes pain when you get it. Till you get it, it is pleasure. Once you get it, it is pain. That is why it is a dual. Pleasure and pain. Whatever you get, it sounds like pleasure. Till you get it. Till then it is very pleasant. And then it is pain. That it is well, there are all these such way. I don't need to elaborate on it, no need to give examples. We all have this. Pleasure and pain, they are, packaged together. It is, everything is pleasure, not pleasure or pain. Pleasure and pain. It is pleasure till you get it. Do you want such a thing that it is pleasure only till you get it? Then it becomes pain. So it is, therefore this is a duel, a conflict that So you become free from that and get something that looks like pleasure and is pleasure, that which never turns into pain. That is what our Arya wants. That pleasure which will never turn into pain. That will be wonderful, isn't it? That is God. Otherwise, everything that you go to get as pleasure, it turns into pain. So, therefore, dvandvair vimukta, sukha dukkha samjnai dvandvair vimukta, gacchantya mudha padam avyayam tat. Amudha means now no delusion as to I should get this or this. No, I don't want, because it is a package. When you see pleasure, your understanding will substitute the word pleasure by pain there. You will see pain. That is how the wisdom is. And that verse in Bhagawad Gita tells that all these so-called pleasures, yehi samsparshaja bhoga dukkha yonaya evate adyantavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddhaha. Buddhaha means wise people. Wise people. What we do? You want to be counted amongst wise people or idiots? Wise people, right, isn't it? So it is. So, what? Nothing, okay. So it is wise people. What is the meaning of your being wise? That you see the result before you get it. Once you get it, you can't do it, you know anything. It is when the house is on fire, what can be done? It is our one Swami, he used to tell an incident, funny incident, but it illustrates this fact very well. He had lot of things. He was coming by train, and so after that he hired a porter. That okay. And that porter had put all those things, and this Swami said, oh, we see that it will fall, don't put it like that, I will hold a few, or take, but he was adamant, that he was, if it falls then tell me, it is, let it be, if it falls then tell me, that, गिरने से बोलो. It is now as he was climbing the stairs, boom, everything fell down. Now अब जो बोलना है बोलो. Now say whatever you want to say, but damn, what is the use of saying anything? It fell down. So it is, the wise person sees what problem could happen before it happens. I remember still the title of that Swami Shantarupananja's talk. He passed away some years back. He was in that Portland Center. So he gave a very nice lecture in Providence. The title was very interesting. The lecture was good. The title was Controlling the Anger Before It Controls You. Once you get into the control of anger, now what can be done? It is everything has fallen down. Now what is the point in saying, why did you do this and why did you? Well, it is now that fait accompli. So it is. So this is important. Wise sees before it happens. That is the sign of wisdom. And that yes, this could happen. So be careful. be particular to take measures before it happens. So, what these wise people say, not say this, what they see, that when there is the drag towards objects that you think will bring you pleasure, then behind that you see the pain. They are bringing me, what a terrible situation. You don't want pain, but you get worse than pain. The pain in the name of pleasure. What a terrible thing, see. Pain as such is not wanted. Again you have to call it pleasure. Yeah. So therefore, these wise people, they shun it, because they see behind these apparent pleasures, this appearance of pleasure, they see the lurking pain. Dukkha-yonaya evate adyantavantha kaunteya. They come and go, these pleasures come and go, like that John Gallagher says, that I said, well, this is a nice pastry, have a piece. He said, Swami, if you indulge, you bulge. So if you indulge, you bulge. So he's seeing the result, if I a moment on the lip and forever on the hip. So you see it beforehand. This Swami, he thinks, okay, I will take it, and later on I will see how to manage that. And the wise people don't do that like that. No, I will not indulge, because then the bulging is the automatic result of it. What are you going to do about it? So it is therefore the wise nateshu ramate buddha. Buddha means wise people. They too do not go after those pleasures. So that is dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha samjne gachanti amudha. The wise therefore go straight to that padam avyayam tat, that divine, which does not go away. To that divine they proceed without any conflict. There is no conflict in that. Persona might have had, certainly she had the conflict whether I should buy this house or not buy this house. Was there any conflict? To buy or not to buy? Yeah. So, and she would call me and ask as if I know anything about it. Yeah, it is. So, conflict, everything, whether we do this or not. It is in everybody, not that everybody gives a frank expression to it like she did, but everybody has this conflict to do this or not to do this. It is whether I should take up this job or I should not take up this job. Conflict, It is. So therefore, but about going to God, that is the source of all happiness. That is the reality, the truth that never changes, avyaya, that does not vitiate, that does not have any dilly-dallying, avyaya. It is there for sure. that is certain. About other things, it is uncertain. Only certain thing is that they are uncertain. So that is how these things in the world are. So a wise person does not get into those amudha. They go to that supreme divine padam avyayam tat. And then how to that shall I take help of these scientists and intellectuals for that? With what light should I go there? Na tad bhasayate suryo, that is the verse, isn't it? Na tad bhasayate suryo, na shashanko na pavakah, yad gatva na nivartante, tadham paramam mama. That last line is kind of repetition, that yasmin gata na nivartanti bhuyah, that is again expressed. But first line is, and in the that second line, therefore if you read in the context of the first line, then it brings that illuminating understanding of it, that no external light shines it. And there was one little, somewhat foolish young boy. And no, we are not talking about you, Arya. Yeah. No, you are not that kind of a foolish boy. It is he and his parents and all, they were sleeping, and it was winter. They had closed all the curtains were down. They were not able to see outside. So this mom told this child, go out and see if the sun has risen. If the sun has risen. And then the boy got up, went out and came back saying, but give me a torch, a flashlight to see if the sun is risen or not. Give me a flashlight to see if the sun, what, do you need a flashlight to see the sun? No. The sun cannot be illuminated by your flashlight, you say. Na tat bhasayate suryo. But that supreme thing, even the sun cannot shed light on that, because sun gets its light from it. Na tad bhasayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakah. Nothing of these, although they are the big luminous things, they all have the light borrowed from God, that divine. That is important thing to be noted, that the external lights can never bring that object illumined. All others, they get illumined by that, like the Upanishad describes, that tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. That it is sun, moon, your fire that you light, the flashlight that you shine, none of them is capable of illumining that, because of the connection with that shining. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvam idam vibhati. That illumination, that word is so beautiful, anubhati. Everything, anubhati means it is according to your connection with that primary illumination, you get illuminated. So it is like these light fixtures, they get illuminated depending on the electric supply that goes into them. To the extent they have their wattage and the luminosity, to that extent they illumine. So, but if there is no connection with power, then they will not get illuminated. So, tasya bhasa, that with that connection with the source of divine, everything gets illuminated. Otherwise, nothing gets illuminated. So you cannot see na tad bhasayate suryo. It is, you cannot depend on the external lights. That is the question, that how can the science ultimately be able to see the God? No. No. Why? Because it works by very definition. It works with the limited sphere, the light of the senses. That's it. Everything has to be brought on the level of the sense organs, and then only it becomes a physical science. Otherwise not. God, science can neither prove nor disprove, because it cannot be caught in your test tubes or can be seen with your microscope. So therefore it is wrong to say that science proves that there is no God. No, science cannot do that. It is, in fact, science can never prove anything. That is how the philosophy of science, what is the name of that author? He is considered philosopher of science. Has written many nice treatises. Well, I am forgetting the name.
Pinker?
Huh?
Pinker?
No, not Pinker. Sorry. It is. It will come to me sometimes. But what he shows is that science can disprove that if you make a statement and if you find a fact that does not fulfill that statement, then that one single incident will be able to disprove it. But proof is impossible, because how can you guarantee that you will never find a fact which will counter this, which will show that what you did was not right? You do not have a crystal ball to say, and crystal ball is not scientific. So it is, you do not have any provision to say that in future no such fact will come up which will show that this is wrong. No guarantee, because the new facts with available data, you try to connect those facts and then you come to a conclusion. But then, who knows, there may emerge, that possibility is always there, that hanging around always, that possibility that there may jump an event and then the whole understanding will be disproved. And in science many such things have happened before, and therefore just by projection you can see that whatever now we consider as true according to science, the future science is sure to say that that was not right. Imagine all those ideas that about 25 years ago we used to consider as sacrosanct in physics. What happened to them? They just got blown away. New discoveries, new facts were found, and then all those things that we held as sacrosanct, it just was blown away. It is so, therefore, basically science has no capability of proving anything. One mathematician said, no, that is not true about mathematics. In mathematics we have exact proofs. I said, yes, in mathematics you cannot say that about mathematics, but you do not really prove anything. Basically mathematics is what is called tautology. It is already there, you only rearrange the statements and then you see it, that's it. Mathematics is in essence a tautology. There is nothing new in mathematics. It does not depend on external facts. True. It does not depend on external facts. And therefore, already it is like balancing the accounts, basically. So nothing new is there. So there is no question of its being valid for all the time. It is an interesting thing. That also depends on how your brain functions. It is I would suggest an interesting book for reading of how the ideas of proof and refutations they change. The name of the book itself is Proofs and Refutations by a mathematician, logician, Lakatos, a British mathematician, logician, Lakatos, I forgot the first name. So that was his book, and when you read it, see how this a theorem can be proved and disproved and proved and disproved. There were various proofs given, and every proof was disproved by another bright student. So it depends on how bright you are to prove and to disprove. Not that something is true, but depends on how brilliant you are to construct the counter examples by changing the content of the words imperceptibly. That it is, he begins with a theorem on polynomials. What is it called? The solids, different solids with, so they have vertices, edges and surfaces. So there is an Euler's theorem about it. So, and there was a proof. The teacher gives the proof, and then one brilliant student says, no, it is not true. And he throws a counter example that, see, that Euler's theorem is not correct. See, look at this counter example. It is not holding true here. Then other says, no, it is true. He gives another proof to show that how it can be included, and so forth. Very interestingly written book. So it is proofs and refutations. Even there it is all very complex, whether true or not true. Depends on how you understand those words, the particular objects. So therefore, na tat bhasayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakah, yad gatva, na nivartante, tadham paramam mama. That all these doubts, they find final rest when you reach that. there is no confusion then, you do not then have the doubt. Whether it was true or not, no. All the doubts are put to rest finally. So, we will take, if you have any questions, we will continue for a few minutes. Do you have a question? Somebody had a question. You had a question? Now it got resolved, I think. I think so. Okay, Abhijit. And then that Archana will ask later. Take the microphone.
So it says once you reach that stage, then you don't return back. But can you stumble upon that stage and not return back?
Yeah. It is whether, as Sri Ramakrishna used to say, that whether you consciously get into the river or somebody pushes you, you get wet. Either way. First, in the first instance, you conscientiously, with determination and effort, you got into the waters. Yeah. Sometimes it may happen that it is somebody may push you, and that may happen.
Times when people experience certain state, and then still they continue to suffer. Like even Sri Ramakrishna, when he had his vision, after that also he suffered, like not having the same vision continuously.
Well, that is that is an example that is given sometimes to say that again after that also you suffer. There you have to see that Sri Ramakrishna had a different purpose of taking human form. Sri Ramakrishna actually had experienced this divine communion even in the childhood. The efforts that he did was a demonstration. He mentions therefore showing his form that all that is done by this is for education of others, for training the others. This is done. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna had to again and again go through this. But that is a case where it is not a sadhana, it is therefore with Sri Ramakrishna, he was not a sadhaka, he expressed sadhaka bhava. He was not a guru, he expressed the guru bhava. Bhava means he acted in the drama like as if he is a teacher, as if he is a sadhaka. So that is not exactly the proper example. That otherwise that even the assumption that assuming the body was not necessary there. It is avatar, that is the principle of incarnation, really inexplicable. So
I think his question goes not in sense of
please speak to the microphone.
Sri Ramakrishna, but example of now Gopal's mom.
No.
That she sees Krishna, now she is not seeing Krishna. So now I think his question goes on that line. Now she already stumbled, now she is not seeing.
First of all, she didn't stumble. She practiced. She was practicing for decades.
No, stumbling is means now you are already there, but now you are not seeing. So
that is not a confusing state at all. It is an expression of confusion, no doubt. Appears like that, but no. There is no that digressions in any of these worldly things. No, this delusion that there are some other pleasurable things in the world. again and again seeing the same vision or going away from it and coming back. It is
not seeing is also a part of that reality, right? Because she is in that perception that it is real.
Yeah.
So not seeing is also a reality.
Therefore, yeah, it is true, and that happens true. But it is not nivartana, means not coming back in this world. That is the meaning of it. It is not a transmigratory thing that the person will come into. That is the meaning of it. So you have a vision. It is a matter of very difficult thing to intellectually understand that how that person comes back and again goes. And there are some explanations from our understanding, from the point of our understanding. Certain things are told, but like when you go from using one path to one destination, now you got there, now you are quite established there, now you don't have the fear of not getting. So now you take a round there that okay, let me go and have a walk around. So it is something like that, you got there, okay, I got to Jagannath Puri, I found the temple, now let me move and see the other places around. So that is, it is something like that. It is, but this is our explanation. It is difficult because that space is where our intellect doesn't go. Already it has been told. So how that happens is difficult to tell. But one thing is sure, that they do not fall in the realm of so-called sense enjoyments.
Swamiji, being a PhD or a scientist and having Satchidananda are not mutually exclusive, are they? I mean, you could be a PhD.
Oh, of course. They are not exclusive, means you can have a PhD and you can be a God-realized person. Both are possible. But it cannot be connected either. What I mean is that because I am PhD, I have a better chance of realizing God. That cannot be said. Or because I am a PhD, my being scientist, if I continue with just my science, I will get it. That also is not right. Yeah. You can be both, why just a scientist? Somebody can be a cook and still realize God. What is there about just PhD? Somebody can run a plumbing business and can realize God. And it is, are they exclusive? Being a plumber and God realize. So similarly, being a scientist and realizing God are not exclusive. So be a scientist, be a very good scientist, no problem, and realize God. But do not think that by your science you will realize God. You have to use a different science for that, if you want to call it science. Here he has a question.
Regarding the comparison we do between people, ourselves and others, superiority and inferiority, it's a very common thing many of us do, and it's actually practice in the society itself. You have higher ups and lower ups. It naturally creeps in. Even as an example, now even Nachiketa does that when his father scolds him. I am neither too good nor too bad. So how do you come across that? I mean, what I meant is it's part of your life. It's ingrained.
Yes, and that is why, you are right, it is ingrained, and therefore it is hard to get rid of. But we have to get rid of it because it is not true. I mean, it is against the truth. And therefore, that is why I was also talking about reversing the brain chemistry. Our brains are tuned to this, and therefore it is natural. Now this is a deception in our language, and it seems to be, that slips our psyche, prompts that something is natural, okay, so it is good. No, that is not the proper thing. It is natural means its existence is understandable. Like thieving is natural for in so many human beings. There is this tendency to steal, and therefore Krishna is also shown that he was a makhan chor, a thief of this butter. So it is, but it is natural. Do you mean to say therefore it is good and should be allowed to thrive? No.
So my question is, you follow the norms of the society showing that the person is superior, but interior you don't feel that way.
Well,
so you have to put a facade.
No, even in this society you don't have to consider somebody.
Well, this is superiors and inferiors already. There's a system of hierarchy everywhere.
Within that system, like you have a boss. So in that paradigm, you listen to your boss and do accordingly. And that's it. But then otherwise there is no superiority or inferiority about it. And this is in American society, it is very good. Yeah, in Indian society that is too ingrained, superior and inferior beyond its context. So it is, you are superior, because I am a professor, and so I am superior to a sweeper. Oh, no. In fact, professors make more dirt, sweepers sweep it away. You see, so that was Gandhiji's statement.
So what about reverence? Because we do have reverence.
Well, reverence is a different thing. Reverence is because if you show reverence, you are likely to learn better from that person. And so, even if you say show reverence to a blade of grass, you will learn from the blade of grass. It is whatever, like you show reverence here. Now that is, for those who do not know, that is just some clay put together, a lump of clay and given some human shape. So they will not get anything from it because there is no reverence. But to the extent you have reverence for it, you get it. That is why we have that idea of reverence. Oh, and this is tulsi leaf. It is just a leaf, a plant, that's all. But you associated Lord Krishna with it. Tulsi, this is dear to Lord Krishna. And then immediately that feeling comes to you, you learn from that.
But isn't there the underlying assumption that I am inferior to the person who is being referred to?
It is no.
Otherwise there's no real relationship.
That is this question comes in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad very beautifully, and that is incorporated in our worship also, in our day-to-day worship. That Atma iti eva upasita, that anything that you revere and worship, do upasana, know that it is a manifestation of yourself. So showing reverence does not mean you are demeaning oneself. It is a wrong idea. One young boy, at that time he was just like less than, even younger than Vittal. So yes, our Sarvagatananji was there. He was hesitating about doing pranam. Should I do pranam? And Sarvagatananji told, if you feel that by doing pranam you are becoming a better person, then do it. It is, if you feel that you are becoming better, you are elevating yourself by that, then do it.
So there is still a state of comparison between mental states. May not be people then.
It is.
I can achieve better than what I am.
Well, it is true that it is a part of ignorance, but then you have to remove it. It is the idea of superior and inferior are only contextual. Do not make them work beyond that domain, beyond that context. They are not working. That beautiful poem, I think it is by Emerson, we used to have it in our school, The Mountain and the Squirrel. You know that poem, Mountain and Squirrel? That a mountain started bragging to the squirrel, I am so big, I am so powerful, you are just a tiny creature. And then the squirrel said, but can you crack a nut like I do? You can't climb trees like I climb. So you are great, but I am also great in my place. This is something that has to be again through practice inculcated. It is, that is, you please, restudy. I know you have studied it. Read the chapter in Karma Yoga. Each is great in his or her own place. You are great in your own place, in your own way. It is, everybody is great in one's own way, because everybody is Brahman. So, and humility, because other is also equally great, and may not be in the same field, but maybe in a different field, and that's it. So, each is great in one's own place. It is our cook used to tell, he, because of circumstances, he came to do cooking. He was a farmer. So his cooking wasn't that good. So if the Swamis would say, of course, in an ashrama, any good cook, thankless job, because how can you satisfy 100 tastes, you see. But then he wasn't, and he was aware that he was not that good a cook. So he said, I am not a cook. If you want to see my expertise, I am a farmer. See my expertise there. So that is how, as a cook, I am inferior. But as a farmer, I am superior to all these cooks. So that is how everybody has a different expertise. It is in different fields, different things, because everybody has divine. So in everyone there is some capability. In that field, that person would be greater than most otherwise considered great people. Yes, Kunal is asking question or is making an announcement?
No, announcement I will also make later.
Okay.
But right now it's just a follow-up of what you were saying. People who are very, very learned, well, not very learned, let us say a professor, when they go to their child's school, they become very humble and speak very nicely to the teacher. How was my little John doing? They perhaps know more chemistry than the teacher. Doesn't matter, because at that point the teacher. The same with the barber. I have seen the son.
Barber, you have no way. Your head is.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, very correct. Yeah. So that's all. Yeah.
I have 3